move to a new city or you're traveling in a city, I want you to look and see, is there a Columbia Club here? What are they doing? What's going on? Who can I connect with?
I've done it in Israel, done it in Taiwan, I've done it in mainland China, done it in Germany. You name it, I've been around, no?
Our next steps will be, because our alums are all over the world, is trying to build regional SEPA alumni groups.
Of all the things that I've done and been involved with since I started here 12 years ago, that's the most exciting thing I've ever seen, CAA.
And so I say, on behalf of the CAA Board of Directors and alumni, I am proud to offer congratulations and our deepest, deepest thanks. Allison Cooke Kellogg, 72 International Affairs, 73 School of International and Public Affairs.
Well, I had been here and I love New York. I still do. I love the vibrancy of it. I love the internationalism of it. And New York City was a really integral part of my graduate school experience. The Russian Institute at the School of International Affairs was primo at that point. It had a treasure trove of Soviet scholars. Brzezinski, I did a seminar with him, and he was very intimidating, but very sharp. And one of the highlights was being an international fellow. We did a trip down to Washington, D.C. twice a year to meet with people in the White House, Congress, State Department. We went to visit the UN. I can still remember the dedication for this building that was out here on this plaza with all sorts of dignitaries from international affairs, the government, the UN. The School of International Affairs for many years really didn't have a robust alumni relations effort. The school decided that it wanted to have a big celebration for its 60th anniversary, which is what it was in 2006. One of the strong feelings of the group of alums working on that event, we want to use this to build a lasting alumni body for the school. And we did. It was tremendously rewarding to start from basically nothing and build a very lasting, robust alumni association. The Dean of SEPA asked me to serve as our school's representative on the Alumni Trustee Nominating Committee. So that has given me an opportunity to really see the inner workings of the university as a whole.
Please welcome the Alumni Medalists.
When you come through the portal of Lowe Library, it's the most incredible sight from that perspective. I loved that the SEPA students all had international flags and would wave them every time SEPA was mentioned.
Miguel Schloss, 69 Business.
Columbia was the place which opened out the eyes. The student body is extremely international, tremendously varied. I had a number of professors who were very outstanding, explaining the theory very quickly and then giving us challenges on what to do with all that thinking. When I came, I had to take an English exam, and when one listens, it's a multiple choice test. Oh. And when I heard them, they all sounded the same to me. So I started filling the tests almost at random. Needless to say, the result was catastrophic. Never have I worked so hard. Reading in English, listening in English, writing in English, dreaming in English. I thought that in the United States everything is orderly, and suddenly I find here students protesting, taking over this very building. I came at the time to study international finance, and I did an awful lot more than that. It was a seamless process between leaving here and staying in touch with here. I formed the Alumni Business School Club in Chile, which is not easy because we have a tradition of being very much lone rangers. And I started a regular program of having luncheons or dinners with some of our thought leaders to discuss a little bit what is happening in the world, what effect does it have on Chile. Some professors with whom we've had excellent discussions like Joe Stiglitz, and others with those who are responsible for recruiting students to come to the university.
Miguel Schloss, Columbia Business School.
This is the first time in my life that I saw a graduation ceremony. It's highly impressive.
Roxann Sherri Smithers, 99 Columbia College, 02 Law.
It was actually my college guidance counselor who said that I needed to look into going to Columbia. I was very active at my high school, sort of promoting students of color there. I was a bit of a good troublemaker. And he knew that Columbia's history of student activism, students being very politically aware on campus and in the world, he thought that that was a good fit for me. No family here, first generation to go to college. I felt like this was the place that I belonged the first time I walked through the gates at 116th Street. My first year here, we were involved in an ethnic studies protest, and I was in there sitting in. My whole professional career depends on convincing other people to see things my way, and that starts with the debates that you have with your classmates in contemporary civilization. When I came to Columbia as a freshman, I did not know how to swim. I realized I had to pass a swimming test to graduate from Columbia. I swim at least once a week now. And it was just an example of broadening your horizons. One of the reasons that I chose to attend Columbia Law School, I felt that my New York story, my Columbia story, was not finished. 4 years was not enough. I moved to Atlanta and very early on got involved doing undergraduate interviews. I was invited to a lunch that turned out to be a board meeting. And now I've served as president of the Columbia Club of Atlanta for the last 7 years. And that's opened other doors to the CAA and the Columbia College Alumni Association. It's not just college folks or law school folks. It's just that common experience of New York, of having lived here, of having sort of made it here, and understanding that transition to another city. I think we all sort of looked at our colleagues' accomplishments and thought, oh my God, what am I doing here? But my overwhelming thoughts were just a thought of gratefulness. Gratefulness just for the opportunity, gratefulness for the person that I've become through my time as a student, my time as a graduate student, and my time as an alum.
William V. Bill Campbell, 62 Columbia College, 64 Teachers College.
I grew up in a small western Pennsylvania town, little steel town. My father knew the coach at Columbia at the time, just came in, Buftonelli. They recruited me. I was way over my head when I came. If there was anything that gave me confidence that I could compete at Columbia, it was Professor Nobby. I would sit in the class and, 18th century English literature. He would go around the room and say, what about that? Campbell, what do you think? And I'd said something and he'd just go on to the next thing. I thought, wow, I couldn't have been that bad. He didn't criticize me or holler at me or do anything. Football went fine. When I got to my senior year, we won a share of the Ivy League title, which was not happened before and hasn't happened since. My involvement as an alumnus has been but almost totally as, kind of a football alum, and then break it into another segment is when I became a trustee. I didn't know what a trustee did. The university is led by Lee Bollinger, and it's led by his thoughts and creativity. Our job as trustees is, can we do that financially? Can we do that operationally? Many times you have people that care deeply about their school and people that care more broadly about the university. The goal of CAA is to take away some of those boundaries. The vision came from Susan Fagan and Richard Witt. It was their vision, and I implemented the heck out of it. And I'm proud of doing that. The Sports Center Uptown was, it took a lot. There are still people here now that don't like the fact that we have to go up there to practice, up there to Baker Field. It's a magnificent facility, and you don't hear coaches complaining anymore. My kids going to Columbia is like the greatest thrill for me, particularly since it was them that decided. So here's my son, good football player. My daughter, and of course my son, was beating her up all the time about making sure that she made the right decision. So,
Bill Campbell. If a great university like Columbia could have a single beating heart, it would be you.
the Alumni Medal, you get a little teary when you think about it.
Your dynamism, humor, and can-do spirit have energized everyone and everything around you.
I'm a little bit embarrassed, not a little bit, more than a little bit embarrassed by all of this. The fact that I'll be walking arm in arm with some people who've contributed mightily to the university would just give me enormous pride.